From one side of the world to the other. Last week we were in the inclement countryside of the southeast of England. Tonight, Logistical Nightmare Racing comes to the picturesque monument to to nature's beauty, as someone has a very big mistake in the S's at the Dipper. It's not the Dipper there. At Mount Panorama. On the mountain, there's been plenty of action up and down the years, from supercars to touring cars to tonight we bring the noise with GT3 at the mountain. Good evening everyone, my name is Sky and we join our drivers just finishing up the end of their practice sessions. I couldn't resist just getting the show started and getting everything warmed up for you, including my voice, which has taken a hit today with it being very, very humid here in the UK. So, before we get everything underway, I will say this very quickly. If you have anything to add to procedures tonight, anything that you are seeing that I might not have seen, feel free to throw them in the YouTube chat. I have got that up and ready, waiting for all of your insights that I have missed. I only have one pair of eyes and one screen with which I need to somehow see the entire race. It's going to be a difficult race for all of our drivers tonight, and with qualifying just getting underway now. By the way, I have no idea where my shadows have gone. Shadows are turned up full, but it's just they don't exist here apparently. So I apologise profusely as we get the usual drama of cars merging together coming out of the pit lane in ACC. The less said about that, the better. I much prefer Factor 2. Who was that just had a... Which button is it? There we go. It was greening in the... Which button is it? It's V. V is the button to put the names up and down. So that, hopefully I'll be able to keep track of drivers a little bit better using that particular keybind. Driver who we should be looking out for first of all tonight is this man in the 777 black and red Bentley of Bashir Jadwat. I will take a very early opportunity, because I don't think we're going to get much of one when we get underway, to actually get any kind of track map or anything like that in. So I'm going to make the most of what we have now in the form of a warm-up lap and a guaranteed, like, we know that Bashir is going to complete this lap, which will make life significantly easy for us. Getting heat into the tyres, that 777 Bentley looks really, really good, and is likely to be one of the very fastest on track tonight. The Bentley is very powerful here at Bathurst as well. The front engine format and the heavily modified chassis from M Sport leaning in to the balance needed to get the best out of this circuit. So, out of Murray's corner, little wiggle controlled by the traction control across the start-finish straight will come Jadwat. First corner called Hell Corner, so called because there is actually a restaurant or something on that corner which is called Hell Restaurant. Mountain Straight is our first real challenge. Now, easy enough is a straight, but this crest and dip that you have along here will cause havoc for all of the drivers trying to perform overtakes. First big corner, Quarry Bend, down to third gear, keep the car on its toes as much as you can, then up towards the cutting, a a sharp left followed by a hairpin left coming uphill down to first or second gear if you're very confident with the balance of the car, and then up through Griffin's Mount. Then this left-hander through Reed, mind the wall on the outside, it will absolutely catch you out. And here as well, Suleiman Park, the area of so many altercations. McPhillamy was that quick left-hander where we've also seen an Audi park on the barriers on the outside. The S's down through Skyline, one of my favourite corners on the track, and then through the S's and the Dipper, one of the most technical parts of any circuit you'll find on the or in the world. Forest Elbow is where Jadwat just went through. I think I might have to choose a slightly slower driver to get through these descriptions from now on and down on to Conrod Straight. You can tell how busy this lap is going to be. I've actually commentated over series who have had an enforced yellow flag section in Sector 2 so the drivers don't overtake. Down nice and neat into the chase. Again, the scene of so many enormous rollovers, crashes, tyre failures, all sorts. And back into Murray's Corner, the pit lane entry on the left-hand side, which is also a massive challenge as well. Jadwat goes to the top of the timing screens with a 2.01.275. That is on par with real life qualifying times for these GT3 cars, and a monster of a lap for the Bentley. So with all of that noise catered for and done, Stein is circulating that 55 Porsche, going reasonably fast at the moment. I think this is his first flying lap, so we'll see if he's got any kind of reasonable pace in that slick racing Porsche. Out across the line he'll come and go straight to third, 9/10 of a second. So Bentley, Porsche is the order of the day. Heineke setting a blistering time in the form of a 202.1, normally more than enough for pole position, but tonight only good enough for the outside of the front row of the grid. Jonathan Bentz has set a relatively representative lap time. I'm not sure how happy he'll be in that 310 Bentley though, as he comes through the S's. Down to Forest Elbow on the brakes, just about keeping the Bentley under control. Misses the apex, but that's not a problem in this particular case. Sometimes taking that wider line allows you to get the throttle down a bit quicker. And the sooner you get the throttle full, the higher your speed will be when you get down to the cutting. You can make so much time and lose so much time too, coming down these two enormous straights, one of which had to be split up in the chase here, where, oh, the 310 runs very wide. He's still a second up. Hopefully that won't have invalidated the lap time. On the brakes through Murray's for the final corner. He did not get a valid lap. That's really unfortunate for the 310 car, for the Ghostworks team. What else is going on? Eaton Rutter. Again, my tongue's having real issues with Rutter's name for tonight in that 975. Very interestingly turned out Ferrari, running 0.8 of a second quicker at the moment, has got a decent run up the Conrod Straight. I don't know if this is a lap time that he will be necessarily counting, but he's got a beautiful Bentley in front who is punching a hole in the air for that Ferrari. That will help him no end unless the Bentley decides to abscond to the pit lane. With Wilson not having set a lap time yet, I dare say that might be Wilson sets a lap time, so possibly we'll go for another one. I could well imagine that's going to be the game. Nobrega to second position with Absmeyer in the 38 McLaren. All 720Ss. I recently tried to drive the 650S GT3 car in this game, and my goodness, Kunos, if you're there, please, I'm begging you, fix that car. because it's such a pretty car and it's so good for 5 laps, and then the physics break on it and it just throws itself at the wall. Really is a massive shame, because I love that car so much more than the 720S. Enough about all of that for the time being, though. Jadwat goes faster with a 2 minutes .417, absconds to the pits for a fresh set of tyres. That will be all he wrote for this session, but I think with a 2 minute flat, that's insane. That is mental. That is such a ridiculous amount of pace to come from that Bentley. I'm pretty sure that's faster than we've seen a Bentley go around this course in real life. I'm just going to confirm that, because yep, the Bentley has gone fastest, I'm pretty sure. Oh yeah, no, by 3 seconds. 2 minute flat is insane performance. The fastest a Bentley has ever gone for the... And this was... When was this? I don't have a date stamp on this article. Was a 203.4. So at the moment, Jadwat is actually 3 seconds faster in ACC than he. I need to get some of his setups. Maybe I just need to speak to Bashir about getting the 650S fixed. I must know his secrets. Van der Merwe is running a second up on his previous lap times. Will take the checkered flag this time around. Hopefully it's a representative lap time and he doesn't get any kind of penalisation. He does go faster, but that still does not put him within reach of anything further. Van der Merwe still circulating across the top of the hill. Bence is going faster as well. Barrington Smith, 4/10 up. This could be a potential position for the 74 Audi. A formidable performance last time out from Barrington Smith. It's a standard setup. My goodness, what is going on there? Barrington Smith takes 4th. In the dying moments of the session, that 74 Audi goes to 4th position. Not to be outdone, Heinecker is still on a charge. Stein is falling away, it looks like, from his previous time. A poor exit, it looks like, from the chase. Can he get a decent drive off of this final corner? He carried more apex speed. Will retake that 4th position. What can the 96 of Heinecker do? As he comes down the chase, he has half a second. It's enough for 4th if he can keep it all together through the chase here. On the brakes he comes, misses the apex. He doesn't want it to unsettle that car. Up, doesn't even touch the curb. He's got a decent exit. All he's got left to negotiate is Murray's corner here. This could be enough, even for 3rd, if he gets it all hooked up at the end. It is 3rd position for Chris Heinecker. And the McLaren becomes the first car to have a repeat chassis on the grid. Let me just very quickly get everything sorted. Again, I really wish that we could run with 2 installations of ACC at once. That would be very useful. 18 cars will take the grid for tonight's 3rd round of Logistical Nightmares Racing's PC Assetto Corsa Competizione League. I'm just going to turn my cursor speed down a bit so I don't twitch for you guys. Once again, Bashir Jadwat will take the pole position in that 777 Bentley. Alongside him, Jason Asmeyer with a blistering lap time to depose Nobrega for that second position. Heinecker with a valiant lap in the dying moments of the qualifying session to take the second row of the grid. Tristan de Nobrega has some work to do from 4th position, but is very much doable. The mountain chooses who will survive and who will not. It is very well known. Marcus Stein in the 55 will start in 5th, with Ryan Barrington-Smith in a very competitive 6th place. That Audi will be one to watch across the mountain because that's where they are the strongest. Kornstraus in the 56 will start 7th with the 64 of Alan Patterson in 8th. 9th will be Jacques Vermeulen in the 35 car, with Paul Venter in the 42 alongside in 10th. Jonathan Bentz in the 310. Bentley will start in 11th, and the 6th car of Gerrit Jansen van Vuren will start in 12th. 13th, that looks like a disconnection or maybe a pit stop for Jansen van Vuren. Ethan Rutter in the 975 will start 13th. 14th will be Johannes van Moer. 15th will be Robin van der Moer. 16th will be Anthony Wilson. 17th will be Quentin Stein. And 18th, and bringing up the rear, will be Neil Greening. You can hear the drivers all pulling away. Our cameraman was not killed off in the scramble. Thank goodness for that. And we have, thanks to simracing.gp, we have a brilliant opportunity to have a quick look at the standings. So I'm going to maximize this so that I can see it as well. So Tristan de Nobrega, as we saw last time out, that second place was good enough to push him to the top of the championship. For the moment, a 6-point advantage over the, if I can count properly, over Corny Strauss in the Porsche 911. Ryan Barrington-Smith, again, that very competitive Audi, consistency being king for that 74 car in 3rd position. You can see all the way down to 18th, which is where the majority of the points start to die off. But a pretty cool and hotly contested championship is waiting. Not to mention Bashir Jadwat, 11th position, and is, how many points is that off the lead? 64, 32, so 24 points off the lead. Has so very much work to do if he's going to take home this championship come season end. There is only 6 rounds, so he's going to have to rely on catastrophe befalling some of his other competitors if he's going to have a hope of taking home that championship after missing the first round. It doesn't seem like a lot, but it absolutely will change the face of the championship by missing a round. And another problem that we're going to have, again, because it's 18 drivers, there will be some drivers here who haven't taken part in a single round yet, so more drivers to get used to for the existing competitors. More driving styles, more defensive styles, more skill levels that we will have, or the drivers will have to get used to. Ultra competitive at the head of the field tonight then. Jadwat is the hands down favourite for the win. But as I said, as we were running down the field, the mountain chooses. We've found over many, many years that this track has a life of its own. You don't win because you've driven the best race you can. You don't win because you have pulled the right strategy. You win because the mountain has chosen you. Tonight, Bashir Jadwat will lead the grid away, but only time will tell as to who will cross the checkered flag first. Start-finish line. First, it looks as though they're starting to form up, and I feel as though this is a little bit early. Obviously, the drivers do have their own prompts on their screens as to whether they should or should not be forming up, but I dare say there's going to be some cold tyres going into turn 1. We'll go to the helicam to get the best shot that we possibly can. Where on earth have the shadows gone? Like, I can see there are shadows, but they don't look anywhere near as definite as they should be. That seems so strange. I wonder what ACC has done. I need to put reshade on. Turn those darks up. A nice close grid. That's exactly what we want to see. We wait for the segment to go green at the top of the timing screens. There's a bit of a mess further back, but the first 10 cars or so will take the green flag very, very nice and neatly. McLaren comes across to go defensive. He does not want that Porsche going up the inside. McLaren up the outside of Dinabrega will look to take the 96 out of third position. I think we got through turn 1 cleanly. That's wonderful to see. Let's get down to a more sensible perspective. McLaren 2-3 is how they will go into Quarry Bend for the first time of asking. And Absmeyer looking to put pressure on the 777 car. Now, where is that Bentley fastest? Attack for the lead. That is... Oh, come on. Absmeyer, there we go. Trying to go up the outside of the 777 car into Griffin's Mount. That was never going to work. And now has had to concede a couple of car lengths. That was so close by the Porsche. The 55 of Stein on the outside will go wide again. Too much understeer on the 55 car. Over Skyline he comes and will get right in the way, by the looks like, of Strauss there in the 56 Porsche. Dinabrega still under pressure from 96, so the 96 car of Heinecke, while not getting the best start, definitely has the pace to take the fight to the 70 car over the mountain. Peterson, oh, looks as though he has succumbed to the mountain already. Let's have a look very quickly at Peterson and where that all went wrong for him. Oh, it was a Skyline. No, it wasn't. Oh, wow, it was a McPhillamy Park. So what has happened here? Oh, so just got it all wrong. Caught the tiniest bit of grass. Let's grab a helicopter cam of that again. There we go. First action of the night. He will come through McPhillamy Park, hit the wall on the inside. That's what sent him ever so slightly wide. Brilliant avoidance by the Bentley on the outside and wonderful sportsmanship by Patterson to keep the car there until it was safe. That's a terrifying, terrifying prospect to be stuck with. So we'll drop into the pits now to get that repaired. Dinabrega is in second place now. With Absmeyer, I can only assume, conceding the position to the faster McLaren. He is the Jota team versus Inception Racing. I dare say that might be a standard skin. What else is there going on down the grid? Greening on the back of Van der Merwe. That NSX is going to be a handful coming over this very undulating circuit, much more suited to the smoother tracks. Does look very, very good up in front though. Down the hill they come towards Forest Elbow. A very tight line being taken by that 67 car. As I say, not going to be enjoying the undulating nature of this circuit whatsoever, but got great drive off of Forest Elbow there. Managed to gap the chasing Ferrari and now is getting up on the Ferrari in front. All of that in a straight. Up the head of the field, we have lots and lots of competition too. That is just yo-yoing between the two. The 74 car struggling down the straights under pressure from Strauss. Under pressure from Stein, with Strauss up behind him is Ryan Barrington-Smith. I wonder if he's running a low drag setup there on that Audi. I can't imagine he's running much else. Damage on the front already, so he is carrying a little bit of aero damage from assumedly contact early on in proceedings. Jenna Brega is not letting... Oh, no. I'm reading me broadcast software wrong. 3.9 seconds is the gap. The Jaguar has already opened up. That Bentley is formidable. I didn't switch back to the main screen. Thank you very much. Absmeyer, having conceded the position to Dino Brega, is wanting that second position back again. I'm sure there will be an element of fair play between these two markmates, because it's going to require both of them playing the game to be able to get that's heartbreaking. On the brakes into the chase they come. That 38 car is looking very threatening up in the draft of the 70. Will look to the inside. Don't think it's going to happen into Murray's though. Not unless the 70 gets it very wrong. Picture perfect on the curbs on the outside is Dino Brega. That's absolutely something that we've become accustomed to seeing though, as all sorts of shuffling behind goes on. Absmeyer still on the defensive. It's a Porsche that has fallen back. Who was it? The 55 car goes side by side with Barrington-Smith up the inside. It's done before they even get to Quarry Bend. Such is the straight line benefit of the Porsche. What has happened? Who have we lost from this battle? It's not Constras, it was Chris Heinecker that we've lost, I think. Again, unfortunately, not something that we have a possibility to keep too much track of. But Strauss now falling back. He's running it with his hazards on, so it was Korn Strauss has... Is this a retirement for the 56 car? What's happened? So he's running on pace there. Looks like he's alright there, up in front. And just pokes his hazard on. How odd. And the other car that we're interested in seeing... Oh, here we go. So what has happened here? 96 car comes into the chase and just gets it all wrong. Oh, and behind a completely unrelated incident. But Korn Strauss getting up the inside of... Who's that BMW? That is Vermeulen. So two completely unrelated incidents. And Strauss is into the pits. I can only assume that's either a technical failure or it's some real life issue that has befallen Strauss. Apologies, I've just had some real life news of my own, which has given me a bit of a shake. That's really unfortunate. Yeah. Very sorry, that's thrown me just ever so slightly. How is the grid looking? Stein is in clear air. Who is that Ferrari? That is Van Vuren in front, who is now in front of Korn Strauss. So Strauss having quite a bit of issues there. But this 74 car still holding on in 5th. I dread to think how much damage he might be running around with. Decisions coming in from race control. Car 6 and 64 on lap 1 is racing in. It was deemed a racing incident for unavoidable contact, and car 56 and car 35, 5-second penalty. I can only assume for the 56 for avoidable contact. And again, not so much an apportioning of blame per se from race control, more a you could have done better. It looks like that gap looks way closer on the timing screens than it does. Oh, as the 74 gets it all wrong on the exit of the cutting, and the Bentley tries to go around the outside, gets the big clap on the wall, and will concede the position back and maybe lose out to the 42 behind as well. Paul Venter. A slight contact between the 74 and the 310. That's how slow this 74 car is at the moment. 38 has gone around. Where is the 38 car? In 38 or 35? No, it can't be the 35. No. Where is... Which Ferrari was that? That's just 93 perhaps? No, it wasn't that car. Van Vuren in the... It's not that Ferrari either. Van der Merwe in 14? Nope. Which Ferrari? Was it Ethan Rutter? It must have been the 93 car. How peculiar. It's a livery I don't recognise. That was the weird thing. Right, anyway. So Barrington Smith. Now, the Bentley is carrying damage too, but it's a different Bentley that is leading the charge. Paul Venter on the back of the Audi now, with Bentz having had his opportunity and not wasted it. Wasted it to an extent by clipping the wall on the outside. Gives the 42 car an opportunity. We'll have a very, very quick look, since we have the opportunity. Where is the Venter car? And as they went over Skyline, which car was it? The 38 car. So it was the 38. I was right first. It's just it was so Absmeyer. It was the McLaren that has retired, and so the second place. What was the second place starter has fallen, and so now Dinnerbregger. Whoa! As an Audi finds its way to the wall on the exit, and the 96 of Heinecker. What an awful turn of events, and it's all happening at once as well. Heinecker, where is he? In there, and Absmeyer. Oh, Barrington Smith has had a big incident with the barrier there. He's got no steering whatsoever in that 74 car. He's going to be a walking chicane. Oh, and that's really unfortunate for the Ferrari. There's never a small incident. Never a small incident on the mountain. Let's just, again, jump very quickly to replay. Again, I wish I could have these things up for you, ready and waiting, but unfortunately, that's not how these things happen. So it was completely unassisted, it looks like, into the wall on the outside yet again. Hang on. Push the right button. There we go. F6. Let's get the inputs from the driver here. So through McPhillamy Park he goes now, turns in, gets a big old knock on the barrier, and I dread to think how much of a incident that was. And behind, the 96 car of Heinecker will do very similar, gets out on the curb on the outside, turns in, and the Porsche just lets go. Did he make contact with the wall? No. Heinecker was lucky he did not. He did not make contact with the wall. But my goodness, and then the incident further down really was unavoidable. And I think that would be... greening. It was the Sky Ferrari that was involved. How many Sky Ferraris we have, I don't know. Ethan Rutter's in the pits. Was involved with that. 310 has a stop go 30. As race control issues more penalties. Okay. Well, that has livened up the race slightly. 5-second penalty for between car 74 and car 93. So 93 of Neil Greening and 74 of Barrington Smith. I assume that's going to be for that contact out of the S's. It will be a 5-second penalty, I can only assume, for the 74. And then between 74 and 9... Yeah, so between 74 and 93... Barrington Smith has a lot of damage to look at there. That has opened up the gaps in the field somewhat chronic. Let's have a very quick look back at Barrington Smith and that incident. Oh, here we go. So, really difficult. So now that 74 car won't be handling at all right. So let's follow with the 74 car as he tries to get back on. He's tried to get in a straight line and that car is not handling right at all. Let's have a quick look on board. Look at how much he's having to steer to try and make the car work. Look at the amount of lock he's having to put on. And he's turning, it's just not doing anything. And he will try to turn, but the car just isn't doing anything. Awful, awful series of events, but absolutely nothing he could have done. The damage was already done. And the 74 car's reversing up. I assume that's to try and take a 5-second penalty without having to run down the pits again. That's very clever. I don't know. Oh no, he's retired. That's a retirement for Barrington Smith, which is a shame. If he had kept going, there are so many points on offer. There's absolutely a reason to keep circulating as the 310 car comes in for its stop-go penalty. A few relatively early pit stops for our drivers tonight. Very much forced and unavoidable, but really throwing the cat amongst the pigeons. So Bentz leaves the pits, and that is Van Vuren in the 6 car behind, who is now potentially in a position to gain another position after a terrible start for Garrett as well. Oh no. Oh yeah, no. So Patterson's still in the pits. So perhaps... Yep, so that was a pit stop, and this fight is for position. as Jadwat has pitted, drops to 5th. Your leader leaves the pits, trying to get some heat into those tyres. We'll have Anthony Wilson with quite a few seconds to the good, but all of that will be for naught as the pit stops run through. Chris Heinecker leaves the pits in... Where is he on the road? Behind Patterson, although I can't imagine that is anywhere near where he actually is in position. Rutte is 20 seconds to the worst, but 35 seconds. Heinecker could still be in for a podium here. If that car holds together, I dare say there could be a podium for that 96 car, which would do his championship hopes no harm whatsoever. Jacques Vermeulen in that 35 BMW performing very, very well in 4th position at the moment, and suddenly with a few pit stops left to be served in the form of Dinobrega, Stein, Van der Merwe and Vermeulen, Wilson and Greening, with Paul Venter having... I think he is still running. Yes. So the 42 rejoined. And here is Jadwat. Here is ultimate pressure for the 93 Ferrari now. The 777 car has a lot of time to make up, and this is not traffic that he could use. There's no reason for the 777 to defend, and it's not as though he could anyway. Bentley's up the inside with plenty of room to spare when it comes to the end of the straight, and an easy pass made for the net race leader. What can Tristan Dinobrega do, though, with the Bentley having pitted? Where is that first place car? Not anywhere near the leader, that's for sure. There is several lapped cars between one and the two. And all of the gaps start to open up. I really didn't expect that we would have this kind of drama fall in the early part of the race. We've still got, after this pit stop cycle has completed, we've still got a whole lot of racing left to go. The 3rd place, currently 67 car, of Johannes van der Merwe, just coming up Mountain Straight now. Very, very lonely race, it has to be said. Quinton Stein has... This is a battle for position. Coming down Comrade Straight, Aston Martin can do nothing against the might of the BMW. BMW gets a big kick of oversteer over the curb, just about gets it stopped into the chase. But that is Patterson to 13th, and more points at his disposal. Let me just see. Again, I don't know what to say about Simracing.gp. This dashboard is absolutely wonderful. So the difference between 13th and 14th is only a point, but with the competition being so tight, for Patterson getting 19 points instead of 18 could make all the difference. In fact, I think he may be This may be his first race. It is his first race indeed. So plenty of talent to be shown by the BMW driver. Meanwhile, the 777 car now on the back of Wilson in the Bentley. That's what I'm looking for, the 31 Bentley. It was weird seeing the 86 Ferrari there. That's what was off-putting. Made easy by the Bentley. Oh, coming into the pits. How very, very kind of him. The 93 car will stay out for a few laps longer, and I'm sure we'll try and use that Bentley to get some... good speed. And Dino Brega has come out just behind the leader. This is suddenly a race worth having. Jadwat has several laps on his tyres. Dino Brega definitely has the better tyre life to work with. I wonder if I can get... No. Absolutely no data, and we lose the 64 car of Patterson as well. It's so heartbreaking to see people retire when there are so many points on offer for all of these positions that they're retiring from. Really is. There's going to be so many people who are going to get lots of championship points just from staying off, and someone loses it in the background there. 86 of Van der Merwe, and he takes out Dino Brega as well. Oh, heartbreak for the 70 car. As the 93, was it 93? 93 gets it all wrong through on the exit of Skyline and gives the 70 car nowhere to go. I wonder how much pace Dino Brega is losing in that McLaren now. Stein now too as we come into sector 3. We'll get on the brakes in the 93, make a fairly textbook pass on the 93 car. What about down here for Benson and Wilson? I think that may be a lap up or a lap down car. The 42 is laps down, but being sat behind the 31. Dino Brega must be cursing his luck. Still out on track, so it can't be a massive amount of damage. Last lap being a 3 minute 6 second. I think that was out of the pits though. I think that may have been out of the pits. Man, that McLaren doesn't sound quite as good as it could. So, championship leader involved in an incident which has damaged that McLaren quite severely. Still able to keep it on the straight and narrow, and if of all the tracks to have any kind of damage to have to run with, this is one of the tracks that you really don't want to. This is probably second to Monaco on all the tracks. Of all the tracks that you would want to have to carry damage on. How is the greening car looking? So hopefully a representative lap time of Dino Brega this time round will give us an idea as to how badly damaged that McLaren is. 100%. Yeah, you can't just hot lap Bathurst, as I said at the start of the race. You have to respect the mountain. Even in the simulator, it still has a mind of its own. As the 96 car, pit stop made, endurance lights on, comes down into Murray's for the 13th time. Oh, Stewart's decision for that incident between the 86, 93 I thought it was, and the 70 racing incident, unfortunately. Totally agree with that decision, just really, really unfortunate for one of the championship leaders. Greening leaves the pits with his head clear of any penalties. And we'll drop to 8th position, it looks like, unless there's more to come. No, I think that's the 310 Bentley, unless that's a lap down, which it is. Boys in orange sat at the side of the track, thankfully no one having to do the marshalling work. Way big wiggle from the 93. That's how dangerous this track is. A beautiful 360 and styled out by Neil Greening there, but trying very hard not to get in the way of any of the others. Bentz, meanwhile, is closing up to the 31 car, has closed up to the 31 car, and is now putting so much pressure on the sister Bentley. Out of interest, who is PWSR? What's the name that I would recognise you by? As the 310 gets a good drive off of Forest Elbow, runs side by side with the 31 car, and 31 car pulls back in line. Such a long straight, it's so difficult for these cars to fight in conditions like this. Meanwhile, Robin van der Merwe with the 93 car behind is laps down. That explains the gap. There is also the Bentley fight going on behind, as Bentz gets into 9th. That will do his championship hopes no harm whatsoever as well, with 9th earning him 23 points. Lots and lots of potential points to be handed out up and down the field here. I say, it really is worth keeping on, even if you're running around in last. Paul Venter currently circulating 2 laps down to get the camera on him. Very briefly, 42 cars had issues again. The 86 of van der Merwe had another wild moment. Oh, is it 86? Oh, there we go. I was obviously very wrong. But Venter is carrying damage in that 42 car. Nonetheless, he's running 14th. And 14th will be good enough to earn him 18 points, which is 18 points more than any of the other drivers who haven't finished or won't finish. Oh, big slide. That poor Bentley is not behaving anywhere near as well as it could do. Where is Mr. Venter? So poor Venter, 54 points to the 56. Please don't retire, my friend. There we go. Spirit of endurance, keep on keeping on. 19 points is better than nothing. And that's just for circulating. That's not even for 18 points, sorry. That's just for circulating. That doesn't mean that you get. That's if he makes any positions up. There's still plenty of time for this to go very wrong for a lot of other drivers, as the 310 now hunts down, having cleared the 31 of Anthony Wilson, will close up to the back of the 93, go wide as the 93 goes defensive. And now up the mountain, I'll tell you what, one, I like the Bentley noise, but two, just enjoy this for a moment. Bentley's got the run. They will just about be able to, or almost on the grass as they try to give space for each other. 93 will have to concede in the end. What a crazy race this has been. Benz was 0.08 of a second ahead as they went through the second split. What was that ouch for, Dave? As what else do we have going on around the circuit? These timing screens are awful. They're so bad. Absmeyer is not circulating because he's not in. What an angle. Wilson has Van Vuren for company, so Wilson's had some kind of intrigue in the first sector, it looks like. Either that or Van der Merwe. No, that is a lapped car. Oh, Venter! Yes, what an awful evening of racing for you. Oh, and you got to stop go as well. 55 and 35 are closing up, are they? Oh, they are. Are they? No, hang on. There's a 55 car. Oh, there we go. So 55 in the pits. So that is a contact, I would suggest. If I were a betting man, let's have a look at the Stein car. Has damage, has damage. Still has damage. Goes over the top of the hill. Seems to be at racing speed here. Are you dead? Are you actually dead? A 55 car's carrying damage, 96 catching 55. Thank you. That's really strange. That Porsche was running so slowly. Where has it sustained damage? Or is it just, it's just had that for ages? That's absolutely fine. It's just really strange that it's falling away like that. The timing screen's car fixed and the wheel was still broken. That's awful. Keep running though, Paul. Keep running, because you're on for 18 points at the moment, and that could be critical come the end of the season. Even if it's a stop-go 30, it doesn't matter. As long as you keep circulating. Quentin Stein's in the pits as well. The 96 car comes across the line to a half second slower than the... Oh no, 0.8 of a second faster, so there is damage. Quite serious damage, perhaps deteriorating damage on that 70 car that we're not privy to. What else is going along? Last split, Stein just behind Van Vuren in the 6, it looks like. And that is just as they were. The 55 car getting very much involved in a big old battle there as he gives way. Nope, that's the leader there. Oh, that's so unfortunate, Paul. I feel bad for you, man. So the leader's coming through here. Stein has caught up to the back of Van Vuren. Van Vuren has been having a nightmare of a race, but this could be some decent competition for the 55 Porsche driver, who runs wider than perhaps he would have liked. Up Manchester Straight they come. That car's looking significantly straighter than some of the other Porsches around the track. But now is right up on the Ferrari. Nothing doing up into the cutting here. Big old twitch as the aero wash gets to the Porsche. Unsettles it, something chronic. Then up through the mountain they come. This is edge of your seat stuff, with the walls rushing past you at 130 miles per hour. Faster than that, but an average speed or so of 130. I think 130 miles per hour is fast enough. Over Skyline they come, that beautiful setting as always, getting the very best. I actually have the view over Skyline as my wallpaper because it's such a gorgeous sight. Really is. 55 now. Can he get the drive off of Forest Elbow and take the fight to that 6 as they come down towards the chase? Unfortunately, the Porsche does not have the best straight line speed in the BOP. Paul's Bentley says no more. Absolutely on the brakes, Stein goes. Has to get it massively overslowed for the 6 car in front. Into Murray's. Approaching lap 20 they come. That Porsche is so much tighter. The 6 gets a massive kick of oversteer and concedes the position. Plus 1 position, and the 55 car celebrates by going stupendously wide. Where is Vermeulen and why is he so far off? How very odd. And Heinecker too has had some trial or tribulation in the traffic. So heartbreak for Paul Venter. That 42 car looks shiny, but something very, very critical has broken inside the car. And all he can do is sit and watch as the rest of the drivers make their way hopefully hoping that he'll be classified come the end of the race. Johannes van der Moer in the 67 really outperforming that NSX tonight. 5th place for the Japanese mark is a brilliant, brilliant turn up for the books. For that purple and grey, I'm going to say, liveried Logistical Nightmare car. Wilson with the lapped Ferrari, or lapping Ferrari. Or Van der Moer lapped Ferrari. Yep, which Van der Moer is that? We've got a couple of Van der Moers. It is Robin for company, and the leader is right up behind this battle as well. 86 car pulls to the inside to let the leader past. And Wilson will rue seeing that 777 car come past. Gets out of the way in a wonderful fashion. Hasn't conceded the position per se. There we go. We'll pull back into the slipstream to drag him away from the Ferrari behind. Battles on track then. Van Vuren is falling away from Stein in the 55 car. As we would expect. And unfortunately, the rest of the battles then start to descend into +2 and 3 laps, and the dashboard's useless. Wilson still with that Ferrari sat behind. I'm sure Jansen Van Buren is desperate to get some clear air under that Ferrari. 55 car, that is an actual battle for position as well now. We'll see them coming through split 2 in a second. This could be another position gain for Marcus Stein, as the gap goes from 3 seconds down to 6/10. What a drive over the mountain for the 55 car. But he's now, having caught the Bentley, has to make the pass. And one fine gentleman no longer with us did say passing is one thing, catching is one thing, passing is very much another. 31 car goes nice and defensive into Hell Corner to start the lap, and this is where the Bentley can stretch its legs. Up the mountain straight they come. I'll tell you what, I'm going to do another one of those things where I just jump on board. This time with the Porsche, I'm going to mute my microphone and just listen to how good this Porsche sounds under stress coming up and over the mountain. I absolutely get goosebumps every time I see that series of corners being done very, very well. Stein was in the laps a few minutes ago. 310 chasing down the 975. Let's just have a look very quickly at this wonderful pass. Now, let's pause here and slow it down ever so slightly. have a look, because what happened here, this was all set up very, very early in proceedings, so the 55 car knows he's got the advantage and will take a massive amount of speed coming off of Quarry Turn there. Will look one side. That means the Bentley thinks that he's going to be going to the right around the outside. Has to keep a tight line. Turns in too early, catches the wall. That's what ended up giving the 31 the position, the 55 the position, was that Bentley getting all very, very wrong. And look at the gap that he's made from that one mistake on one lap for the 31 car. 310 is chasing down now. The 975 is chasing down the 310, absolutely. As Van Vuren looking like he's no, that's a lap down. No, I was right. I was right. Jansen Van Vuren, oh, so close to the wall there. And 975 was hunting down, but has lost time down the straights. Yeah, but Jansen Van Vuren wants that 10th place off of Anthony Wilson. He's going to have a hard time of it coming down Conrad straight with that Bentley. Evening, Tinton. But perhaps with the draft, that can make a difference for the 06 car. Down into the chase they come. A big look up the inside for the 6 car. I'm sure that was just to get some air underneath the front splitter to give him some braking performance. Bit wide is the 31. Big wiggle by the 6 car. Had to check up and will almost lost out to the car behind. The checkered flag flies as that last half hour has just disappeared. Dino Brega will come home second. Jadwat will take the win. There is the McLaren. Vermeulen in the BMW 35. A consistent race has earned that BMW third. And a Van Vuren. What? Van Vuren. Van Vuren. What? Third place for the BMW is an extraordinary finish, and Heinecker has run out of fuel. Van der Merwe will take fourth position. That 96 car will come across the line with no fuel left in its tank at all, gifting that Honda fourth position. What a turn of events. Van Vuren? That doesn't sound wrong. That doesn't sound right at all. I don't hear any donuts, but we'll get your finishing order pretty damn soon. There we go. So, your finishing order. Bashir Jadwat will take home the win. Tristan Dinobrega in second. Third will be Vermeulen in that 35 car. Fourth will be Van der Merwe in the 67 Honda. Heinecker will come home in fifth. Sixth will be Bentz in the 310. Seventh will be Rutt in the 975. Neil Greening will take home eighth. Ninth will be Marcus Stein. Anthony Wilson 10th. Garrett Jensen Van Vuren. Van Vuren. Good grief. Will take home 11th. 12th will be Robin van der Merwe. Quentin Stein will be 13th. 14th and classified, most importantly, I think, will be Mr. Paul Venter in that 42 car. Patterson in 15th. 16th will be Barrington Smith. And first into the The box, we will bring Bash, who is, come on, names, Mr. Winner for the evening, Bashir Jadwat,
Hi guys.
if I'm
Thanks.
remembering correctly. How are you, my
That's right,
friend?
yeah. Good in yourself?
Yeah, no, it's been an interesting race. Not that you saw any of it, because once again, a picture of consistency. How has the mountain treated you tonight?
Not too bad. I made one mistake. I had a bit of a lag moment there and I hit the curb, so I hit the wall quite early, but it was fine because it was almost my pit window in any case, so yeah, it just happened to be at that time.
Ah, how very.
But otherwise, it was a decent run.
Yeah, no, it's really fortunate that it fell where it did.
Yeah.
How did the tires hold up?
The
Overall.
tires were fine. Tires were fine at the end. I was still running green sectors till the end, so it was good. There wasn't much tire wear. I
Oh,
think
cool.
the low temperatures helped quite a bit there.
I was gonna say normally this track is an absolute demon for tire wear, and you have to be so careful, especially in the
Yeah.
front engine cars that can wear the front tires down so very quickly when it's
I'm
awesome.
pretty sure I think it was the temperature that helped you
Yeah,
quite a bit. So I was expecting a lot more tire wear, but I was surprised to see that it held up quite well actually.
100%, 100%. What more can I say? You're fighting an uphill battle to take the championship win, but I mean, back-to-back victories is absolutely the way to do it. Do you think you can keep up this form through the rest of the championship?
Nah, I'm pretty sure the other guys will catch up. The next few tracks should suit other cars as well. Like this track did happen to suit the Bentley quite a bit, so I'm pretty sure it'll be closer going forward, but it'll be a good fight. I'm looking forward to it.
I was going to mention tracks coming up. Paul Ricard and Kyalami, they're kind of known quantities. What's your experience with Snetterton?
Uh, I like the track, but I'm not very good at it. I get lost on the back straight when there's that left-hander. I tend to go to the right.
Oh wow,
But
okay.
yeah, I haven't driven it too much, but it's a very nice track. I mean, it's the flow that it has at the last sector, especially with that hairpin at the end, is
Yeah.
nice.
Oh,
So I'm looking forward to that as well.
the last sector's wonderful. Sector 2 is awful. I'm probably one of the few people who are very familiar with Snetterton from the touring cars in the UK.
Yes.
Um, So I'm acutely aware of of that, and I hate the new layout. It looks awful. It doesn't race very well. But we'll see. We'll see. Maybe Logistical Nightmare Racing can prove me wrong on that. I hope beyond hopes that you don't forget to turn left at the end of the back straight next week. If I don't get a chance to speak to you before then, congratulations on the win.
Thanks, man.
And look forward to seeing your exploits next week.
Thanks, man. Thanks for hosting.
No,
Cheers.
have a good evening, Bashir.
Cheers, man.
So next into the com box, who else could we speak to other than Tristan Dinabrega, who second again, beginning to show a bit of a pattern here, aren't you?
Just a little bit. Just a little bit.
Best of the rest and all that. I mean, it's not a terrible place to be.
Yeah, no, it's good points. Just had to keep my nose clean. I was pretty chuffed that I kept it out of the walls majority of the race. And then, I don't know if we caught it on stream or not, but with 20 minutes left, there was a back marker who unfortunately lost it completely in front of me.
Yeah.
And he kind of just ping-ponged off the walls as you do at the top of the hill. And so I went for the gap. Thought I left him enough space, and yeah, he unfortunately
Not
just
quite.
collected me.
Yeah.
So after that, I had 15 seconds of damage. So I just was like, you know what, take it easy, bring it home, and yeah, that's exactly what I did. So it was a good race.
Yeah, of course. Speaking of, the curse of the commentator was absolutely real tonight. I seemed to be watching every incident as it happened. It was really quite strange. Good for documentation, obviously, but like, oh man, I felt sorry looking at any of the cars. Just any driver, it just felt bad because you're counting down the seconds to when it was going to happen. But managed to nurse that car to the end, and with quite a bit of space around you as well. next round's over at Snetterton. Are you familiar with that track at all?
It was obviously one of the British GT tracks that was added. I, to be honest, have not even done a single lap around it, so I will be definitely doing my homework. Because yeah, I'm enjoying the racing so far, and this McLaren seems to be going pretty well. So yeah, we'll try and find a setup and try and run a few laps around there. See how we go.
100%. It's an interesting circuit. I am not looking forward to commentating over it. It's going to be such an awful struggle for anyone to overtake.
Yeah, I've watched a few YouTube onboard videos, and yeah, like you say, pretty much
it's very
impossible
tight
to overtake.
It's very tight. It's going to be one of those tracks, one of those nights where qualifying is very important.
Yeah, 100%.
I think there's still a lot of strategy to be played out, so you've got to have your guard up for those doing undercuts and overcuts, for sure. But again, that's another thing that you're going to have to be really careful of. How do you manage that on a track? On a track like that, how do you consider your pit stops? Do you have a pit window that you think of how long a pit stop's going to take, and then try and think of a gap to drop into?
Yeah, so the beauty of this championship is there's no actual pit window, so it kind of mixes up the strategies quite a bit. So some guys go for a massive undercut, like you saw me do in Spa. That wasn't intentional.
No.
I started the race on quali fuel, but yeah. So with a race like that, we'll see. Obviously, overtaking is really difficult. It's kind of like Brands Hatch, so almost attacking it in the sense of going longer and extending your first stint so that you can avoid the traffic. Because obviously, if you put early, you might find yourself in some traffic which you then can't get through. So yeah, it might be a good idea to just extend that first stint and then see how it goes.
Well, I could totally see, because the tyres will last an hour, and the drop off isn't all that terrible when you've got the car beneath you. I could well see people pulling, if we call it pulling a Dino Braga, next time out, and pitting with like a few laps into the race and running long, because with a pack so close together, you could find that you've got the majority of the track to yourself when you pit that early.
Yeah, exactly. Clean air is king, so we'll have a look at that. We'll run some tests in practice and see what will pay off. And then, yeah, you just have to see after qualifying how it goes. And then after those first few laps, see where you're sitting and take it from there.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. Tristan, a great show as always. Really unfortunate to have that incident in the closing stages of the race. But more really solid points. Even more congratulations. Have you done any of the maths yet for the rounds that remain as to whether Bashir can even catch you?
To be honest, I haven't. I'm trying to avoid the points. I'm just trying to do the best I can at each round, and we'll take it as it comes. I find if you focus on the championship too much, the pressure you put on yourself just is too much. So I like to just keep it cool and just take it one race at a time, and we'll see how it goes when we get to the final two or final round.
I totally understand and respect that. I really do. Tristan, thank you very much for dropping in and saying hi. It's wonderful as always to speak to you.
Thank you so much for having a chat with me.
No, it's awesome. Hopefully we'll speak to you next week.
That would be perfect.
Yes, 100%, cool. Mate.
Thank you so much, eh? Cool, cheers.
And a new voice to the Combox, I'm pretty sure. Mr. Jacques Vermeulen, welcome to the Combox, and you dragged that BMW kicking and screaming to third position. Congratulations.
Yeah, no, thanks very much. It was a tough one.
You are really quiet. Could you possibly bring your mic a bit closer to your mouth?
It's right by my mouth. Is this better?
That's really strange. You are super, super quiet.
Okay.
That's really odd. I don't think there's anything I can't boost you up any higher, so I'll just have to. Oh no, I can. There we go. Give us a 1-2.
Can you 1-2, 1-2?
You are just about audible. I will yeah.
Okay.
I will quieten down a bit so that others can hear you.
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah, I'll be a bit loud.
good man. You're a star. A challenging race, and the mountain provided, I think, for the 35 car tonight.
Yeah, it was honestly it was a tough race from the beginning to the end. The beginning, I think everyone just wanted to get to the first lap cleanly, and I think we all did that.
Mhm.
But unfortunately, myself and another Porsche got tangled up when I think it was the person who complained about his brake failing on him, and he unfortunately just spun me around on the just at the end of Conrad Straight. So after that, I just told myself, okay, let's just get into the pits and just put my head down and just, set those consistent laps. And as time was going on, I was just seeing everyone fall away, making a few mistakes, and then all of a sudden, I found myself in fourth and then third place. And yeah, somehow I just kept it there. And unfortunately, at the end, I saw Heineke run out of fuel, and if it wasn't for that, I think it was going to be a very close race. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. If you don't mind me asking, and forgive me if it sounds a bit blunt, what was the mindset behind you choosing the BMW? It's not exactly the on-pace car, is it?
No, no, not at all. I think it's very out of its league with the newer cars, and I think it just has some kind of character that I like about it. So I run a Bentley with my teammate Paul Fenter.
Mm-hmm.
But this season I just told myself, let's just try something new, even if it's like what 5, 6 years old. It's fine. Let's just run it.
Yeah, yeah, of course. Speaking of Mr. Venter, he is in YouTube chat at the moment, singing your praises like a canary.
Have
So,
fun, and that's how it went.
say that again. Sorry.
Yeah, somehow it just paid off tonight, choosing the BMW.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. Well, those points are going to be very much a good a good boost to your championship, won't it? Because you're currently sitting in eighth position with 44 points. That's going to be quite a few points to your tally tonight.
Yeah, no, that's true. Honestly, I'm not in this championship to win, but I'll take the points.
Yeah, 100%. No. I totally understand your point. It's operating to the best of your ability, and as long as you've done it, and I'm pretty sure you did damn near what was possible from that BMW tonight. Really, really well done on the strategy call, even if it was a little bit forced. And
No, thank you.
what is your experience of Snetterton, where we're off to next?
Oh no, I honestly, I tried it on Project Cars 2. I didn't gel with it, so I'm just going to, I don't know. I'm gonna have to practice because I know if I don't practice, I'm gonna fall off the track very quickly. So yeah, yes.
You do have a bit of an advantage in that BMW in that it's so well balanced that you should be able to kind of throw it at the track and it stick. Thankfully, the only thing you're going to have to really look out for, which again, that it could be a good track for the Bentley if something comes out of the woodwork in strategy, you could there's an opportunity there. There really is.
Yeah, no, it is because I think Snetterton is a lot of longer straights than a lot of the British tracks. I think that the BMW has a lot of pace up its sleeve. I mean, it can outdrag almost anything on the straights. It just suffers in the slower corners. But I can make it up on the straights. So hopefully I'm on the pace with the top 10 or at least the top 5 for next week. Yeah.
Yeah. It would be wonderful to see you up there again, Jack. It was awesome seeing that BMW on track.
Awesome.
Thanks
so much.
It's lovely. It really is nice to see the variety that we've got on track. I mourn the absence of the 650S because I think that car is absolutely gorgeous, but it's also completely unusable.
No, that's true.
It
That's true.
really is. Really is. Now, Jack,
Awesome.
you have a lovely evening, mate, and we'll
Awesome.
catch you next time out.
Thanks, you too. Cheers, guys.
And with all of that said and done, it just leaves me to say thank you very much to the patrons and sponsors of the channel. If you feel so inclined, there will be links, I assume, below. Unfortunately, I didn't set this one up, so I can't give you all of the information on that one. But then we will throw those sponsors up momentarily to close out the video. My name is Sky. You have been watching Logistical Nightmares Tuesday night series from round 3 at Bathurst Down Under. It's been a pleasure as always, and I will see you next time. A very good evening to you all.